Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys for coming to check out and do a bit of a Q&A. Let's see here. I hope everybody's doing well. Sorry, I'm just getting myself organized here to make sure that everything is all good. Oh, I see a few people in the chat. Hey, Seasider, thanks for showing up. Diane, nice to see you. Yeah, awesome. I'm super stoked to be here. I'm super stoked to do another little Q&A. So awesome. Wow, a bunch of people. Holy crap. 21 million. Hey, there you go. CryptoBit, Nick, Futurology, Simon, random person. Hey guys, how's it going? Ryan, welcome. Yeah, let's get into it. So I'm gonna be going through, basically like last time, I'm gonna be going through a bunch of different questions that I've seen pop up on my videos through the week. And then I'm also going to be answering questions. I'm going to be answering questions in the chat here. I see a bunch of people already in there. Wow, that just came right out of nowhere. I was honestly, I was looking and I was like, oh, nobody's going to watch. There said 0 viewers, but I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, already at like 40 something people here. So great. Thank you guys so much for coming. All right. So I guess if anybody doesn't know, this morning I posted a video. It was a video just explaining Bitcoin transaction fees because I think especially with new users, they don't really know what the Bitcoin transaction fees are, who they're for, and all that jazz. So if you haven't checked it out, feel free to, I guess, after the live stream, go and check out my video on Bitcoin transaction fees. And in that video, I talk about how the transaction fees have been increasing over time and the reasons why, where those fees go to, so on and so forth. And I also talked about how some people are starting to use alternative methods for smaller transactions. So like for tips on videos and stuff like that. Just recently, Tone Vase, he went and decided, why not? I'll take LITECOIN for tips because it wasn't making sense for people to send him like a $1 or $2 Bitcoin tip. He may as well take LITECOIN, and then I think he's converting that into Bitcoin. So anyways, I saw that and I was like, well, it's not a bad idea. So I figured, yeah, at the end of my other videos, like my tutorial videos, stuff like that, I'm going to throw up some QR codes of other currencies. I'm throwing up, well, Litecoin is the one that I tend to prefer, just because it's pretty much Bitcoin, pretty much the same thing, just a little bit different. And I like that SegWit has been activated on it. Yeah, I did put up Dash there too. I just see somebody in the chat saying Dash. Yeah, I mean, I accept Dash at the end of the video, and the other one I accept is Ethereum. And then of course I still have a Bitcoin QR code there. And I mean, if somebody wants to toss enough Bitcoin to justify paying the fee, then more power to you. But yeah, I figured there hasn't really been any Bitcoin tips lately, and rightfully so, because that's expensive. You can't be sending somebody $1 if it costs you $4 or $5 to do it. So anyways, so hey Ken, I see first question with the blinky lights around it. When are you coming on my show? Whenever you want, man. Just let me know. I'm stoked to do it. So yeah, Ken, would love to. All right, sweet. So there's a bunch of people. Okay, Sam, there's a question. Will there be a hard fork August 1st? Well, let's get into that a little bit. So let's examine what's going on. So August 1st, if you're not familiar, there is something called BIP 148 activating. Now, my understanding of this isn't perfect, but I'm going to explain it the best that I possibly can. So basically, a good bunch of people have decided that they're sick and tired of waiting for SegWit. It's been just sitting in limbo forever. There's been arguments about it, and just miners are not activating it. It's been sitting around 30% approval rating forever. Meanwhile, you have other solutions being put forth where everybody's saying they want SegWit, but they're bundling it in with like a 2 megabyte hard fork. But technically, there's no real reason to be doing that, right? If everybody's saying that, yeah, we want to do SegWit, but we also want to do a 2 megabyte hard fork, it's all kind of being rushed and jumbled together. And what I'm talking about is the New York agreement that was put together by Barry Silbert, and he got together with a lot of different people, a lot of companies, a lot of miners, and like 80% of the community has signed on to this thing. Which, I mean, great. If that ends up being what consensus is, then that's what consensus is. That's what a consensus system is built on. But people are worried that this is just kicking the can down the road because miners secretly don't want to activate SegWit because it breaks their something called ASIC boost, which is just you could call it a hack or you could call it an optimization, but basically what it does is it allows miners to mine Bitcoin and mine blocks without having to put out as much electricity. And this wouldn't be a big problem if all the miners were doing it. But basically what happened is somebody reverse engineered one of the chips made by Bitmain and found that it had the capability for this thing called ASIC boost, but you could do it covertly so that people wouldn't know that you were doing it. Now, Bitmain says that they are not using it, but they are also actively blocking SegWit, which they still agreed to do in this other agreement. But the way that they'd be enacting it would not break ASIC boost. So, I mean, do with that what you will. But basically the worries are that somehow people are going to get screwed with this other agreement and SegWit is not going to happen. And now I know that SegWit would be locked in. Once SegWit locks in, then essentially would lock in a 2 megabyte hard fork 6 months down the road, something along those lines. And people are saying that there's not enough, there's no testing for that. So we'll see what happens with it. But BIP 148, August 1st. I'm sorry, it's taken me a while to get to this, but there's a lot of stuff going on around it, and I'm explaining it in a very quick way. But BIP 148, essentially, this is an upgrade that essentially makes it so that after August 1st, people will no longer, the people running BIP 148 will no longer recognize blocks that are not signaling for SegWit. All right. So if you're a miner and you make a block and you don't signal for SegWit, anybody running BIP 148 will not recognize your block. Okay. So there are a few things that could happen with this. One, BIP 148 does not get nearly enough support, and essentially at that point, they themselves are no longer recognizing non-SegWit signaling blocks, and they just end up on their own little chain, which basically nothing happens. So a small group of people split off. Okay. If a ton of people get behind BIP 148, August 1st happens, then all of a sudden we get SegWit. All right, so SegWit activates August 1st and everybody's behind it, and anybody left behind, essentially they're going to be on a smaller chain, and they're either going to have to wait it out and just make another Bitcoin, but wait for super long, slow blocks, or they're going to have to jump over and join in with everybody. Now, where it gets tricky is, what if there's a split and BIP 148 doesn't have a ton of support, but like some, say 20, 30%, and this other chain has 70, 80%. Okay, so they're going to be the longer chain. They're going to be where everybody's at. These guys are not going to be recognizing any blocks on the other side that are not SegWit compatible or signaling SegWit. So at that point, you've got a separate Bitcoin. But if all of a sudden at some point the people using BIP 148 become the longest chain, become, you know, the longer chain, then all of a sudden anybody over here that has not been signaling SegWit, any transaction in a block that was not signaling SegWit, all of a sudden that transaction didn't happen. And the blockchain over here suddenly gets reorganized. And that could screw a lot of people. So that's where the worry's coming from. Essentially, you could have a split, and if these guys creep up and end up getting the majority of the hashing power at some point, even if it's at a later point in time, that's where there's a lot of confusion. That's where potentially there's a lot of we have no idea what the hell's going on. Did these transactions no longer work? Do you have people that are using Bitcoin that, oh shit, my stuff didn't go through? You know, places like Coinbase or BitPay or companies like that maybe weren't using BIP 148 before, all of a sudden that gets scary. And that's mostly if BIP 148 starts to get a decent amount of traction. And at that point, it's almost worth it as a just in case for miners to start even just signaling SegWit, because that's kind of like future proofing themselves just in case BIP 148 gets traction. So you get into game theory here and thinking like, okay, are they going to risk it or no? There's a lot to it. So August 1st, I have no idea. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, and either this Barry Silbert New York agreement is going to have to get its shit together ASAP, or BIP 148 is going to have to get a lot of people behind it ASAP, or just status quo happens. We're going to find out. All right. Okay. Let's jump up to some of these. I know a ton of shit just went by in the chat here. Okay. What do you think of this upcoming flippening? If you're not sure what this is referring to, essentially Ethereum's market cap is going up and up and up and up. And yeah, it's getting close. Like, let me just take a peek and see where it's at right now. Okay, so the Bitcoin market cap is currently at $43.4 billion. The Ethereum market cap is currently at $37.9 billion. Okay, so it is this close to being the biggest cryptocurrency. Now, when I'm looking at it, so I don't see a problem with Ethereum having a bigger market cap than Bitcoin. So and that's for a couple reasons. Number one, I don't see Ethereum necessarily as a store of value, and that's just because there's no cap on the number of Ether that are going to be created. So, I mean, it's a totally different purpose, right? You can build things on top of Ethereum, and that's fine. But when I'm looking at it, I'm not looking at, okay, I need to put money into this for, you know, my retirement. But that's not to say that the cost of Ether can't go up. All that needs to be true for the cost of Ether to go up is for there to be more demand for Ether than there is supply, right? So if X number of Ether are created every single day, there just has to be people wanting more Ether than are being created, all right? So I think that's definitely something. I mean, that's why it's happening right now, right? People want Ether, but they're using Ether for a variety of reasons. And one of those large reasons is for these ICOs, these initial coin offerings. So there's a lot of craziness going on with these ICOs. And it scares me a little bit because there's a lot of money pumping into these things. There was what was it? The Bangor, I think it's called Bangor. It just had an ICO today, and it raised like over $150 million the last time I saw it, but I have no idea where it's at right now. And there was something that went on with it too. There was something got frozen, and then they drew out the amount of time that you could put money into it, and it like froze up the Ethereum blockchain, and there's all this confusion going on today. It seems like that's been worked out now, but yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of projects that are getting a lot of money that maybe don't deserve it. Now, I look at Ethereum and I think the platform itself, great. You know, I think it has promise, but I don't think that the things being built on top of it, I don't think that the majority of them deserve the money that they're getting. A lot of these white papers are just talking points. They're not actual. there's nothing there. So, you know, like, yeah, you could throw money at these things and you'd probably make bank. I'm not doing that. And I know that I probably could make money doing that, but yeah, I've decided to only keep money in things that I think are going to be around long term. So yeah, like, I mean, Ethereum, yeah, I've got a few Ether, not nearly as much as I do in Bitcoin. So, but that's because, again, like I see Bitcoin as a store of value. I see Ether as maybe it'll be worth more because more people want to buy it than there are Ether. But that's more of a gamble versus in the crypto world, Bitcoin is more of like the safe bet. And Bitcoin doesn't need to be the top one to be a good store of value, right? You know, like when you look at markets, even just in the stock market, you look at gold, and I'm sure there's other markets that have a lot more capital in them than just gold, right? That doesn't mean that gold is worthless. It just means that they're two different things. So yeah, anyways, I'll just kind of keep on from there. Okay, let's see. I see a whole lot of flippening in the comment section here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, what do you recommend for someone who wants cash but who lives in a place without Bitcoin ATMs? This is from Marco SRDZ89. Okay, if you're somewhere without Bitcoin ATMs, it depends what country you're in. I mean, like if you can't get online to an online exchange, I guess that's out. You could go to localbitcoins.com. And if you're selling Bitcoin on localbitcoins.com, odds are you probably get above market value for your Bitcoin. So that might be a good solution for you. You could also sell Bitcoin on paxful.com. That's where people pay you through a variety of means, sometimes with Amazon gift cards or other means, but you got to be careful there because, again, somebody might be trying to scam you, or they might not send over what you need. So yeah, you just got to make sure that the person has enough reviews. And then the other thing that I might recommend is purse.io. So that's where you link up with people who either want to sell or buy Bitcoin, and you're facilitating that by ordering people stuff on Amazon. So if you wanted to sell Bitcoin, how would this work? If you have Bitcoin and you want something, essentially, like if you wanted to buy stuff, you could buy a bunch of stuff on Amazon and get a discount, and then kind of in a roundabout way be selling your Bitcoin in the process. But yeah, that might not be exactly what you're looking for. So anyways, I would look up localbitcoins.com and maybe Paxful. And then if you're still at a loss and you're trying to get rid of some Bitcoin, then purse.io is a great option. Okay, let's see here. Okay, some people talking about LITECOIN. Let's see. Okay, which altcoins would you use to hedge against Bitcoin price dips and a possible hard fork? Honestly, if there's a hard fork, I'm gonna sit and then I'm gonna buy, because look at Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Look at what happened when it split originally. Ethereum was like 20 something dollars when the split happened, and then it got cut in half to like 12 or something. And then Ethereum Classic was sitting around $2, $3, $4, and then it kind of dropped down. And now look where we are, like a year and a bit later. Ethereum's freaking like $410 right now, and Ethereum Classic is just over 20. All right, so for all the people that freaked the hell out as soon as Ethereum split, had they just sat on it, they would have been fine. In fact, they would have been more than fine. So if there's a split with Bitcoin, I'm going to watch everybody freak out and I'm going to sit on it, because you got to think too, if there's a split, that means all of a sudden you have two different Bitcoins, but you have two groups of people that get what they want. So while in the short term, that's a huge pain in the ass and it creates a lot of confusion, there will be probably a dominant Bitcoin, and then there'll be another one that is not used as much. You know, some say that the other chain will die. I don't think that's the case. I think if people really, really wanted this other chain to succeed, then maybe they'd do a proof of work change or something like that, or they just wait out until the difficulty got retargeted. But yeah, I don't know. I would sit on it. I'm honestly not really. I'm not hedging as far as taking money out of my Bitcoin and buying other things. I'm gradually buying some other cryptos, the ones that I think maybe have staying power. I mean, Ethereum, but not as a store of value. I think it'll be used for other things, but I mean, great. I'm happy for it to coexist with Bitcoin. I think I'll be honest, I don't like Ripple. I really don't like Ripple, just from a fundamental standpoint. Like, it's cheapening up the back end for banks. It's like the opposite of what Bitcoin was. So just from a fundamental standpoint, I'm not buying Ripple. I like Ethereum Classic, and the reason I like Ethereum Classic is the fundamental reason why it split. I agreed more with ETC than Ethereum, because I don't think that the hack from the DAO, I don't think that should have been rolled back. They said in the paper, code is law. Above everything that was written about the DAO, they said, regardless of what's written here, the code is the law, and that's what we're going to do. And we soon found out that wasn't the case. So, I mean, from a fundamental standpoint, I like Ethereum Classic more than Ethereum, but when you're just being realistic, everybody's using Ethereum. So, I mean, I'd love to see Ethereum Classic bump Ripple down to take the number 3 spot. That'd be great. We'll see. I don't know. Actually, what I'd really like to see is LITECOIN start going up these charts. It seems to just stick there around $30. It's just kind of like hovering. Makes me wonder if it's going to enjoy a bump at some point, or if it's just going to stay there forever like it did at $4 for God knows how long. I mean, Dash, I don't know enough about it. If I use Dash, it would just be for quick transactions, but I probably wouldn't leave a lot of money in it. I like Monero. I think that the lead developer behind Monero is a realist. I think that he's not. I don't think that he doesn't care about pumping up the price. he would rather take his time and make sure things are done well, and then let the project speak for itself. So I like that. And I don't know a lot about Zcash, but from the sounds of it, it's another good anonymous way of transferring value. So yeah, I like that. Some other interesting ones. Augur is kind of interesting. And game credits, I really like the idea of monetizing in-game assets. It's just a cool idea. Whether or not game credits still exists in a few years, I don't know. But anyways, and then made safe, figuring out decentralized storage is a cool idea. Factum could be interesting in the future, but these are all just things that I think they need time. So yeah, okay. Let's see here. Okay. Question is, Ethereum is for digital contracts. Do Ether get locked into the contract for a time, or how are the contracts enabled using it? So now again, the problem here is I don't know how many people are actually using Ethereum for what it's supposed to be used for. Right now, I think it's just a ton of money are in Ethereum because they're buying Ethereum and locking it up into these ICO projects. So they're buying these other tokens. God knows how long that's going to last for. I think a few big ICOs are going to come tumbling down when they don't have a product, and well, they haven't even necessarily promised when there's going to be a product, but I think we're going to see some problems with these ICOs down the road at some point. So with Ethereum, use Ether to buy gas, I believe, and then this gas is used to fuel a smart contract. So you have to have a certain amount of gas in order for this smart contract to run. And that smart contract runs until the gas runs out, until you run out of gas, and then you got to refuel it. So it's kind of like a dual token system, I suppose. But I myself, I haven't made smart contracts. I haven't used it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably just like everybody else. I have Ether and I don't use it for what it's supposed to be used for. Okay, let's see. I see these mentions of Bitconnect. Bitconnect. All right. I'm going to be honest. I think Bitconnect is just another Gladiator coin. When I look at it, like, so correct me if I'm wrong, but okay, maybe somebody in the chat can enlighten me. But like, I look at Bitconnect and I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't put my money in it. But anyways, it looks like you're giving Bitcoin to this site, and then so you're lending it to them, and then they're trading with it, and then supposedly making a bunch of money and then paying you out. Is that right? Yeah? I don't know. Okay. So if that's the case, I mean, okay, maybe somebody can tell me. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Okay, I'm going to just open up the website. Bitconnect. I don't know. Okay, Bitconnect. Bitconnect, Bitcoin community earn, buy, sell, and trade. What are you promising? Let's see here. Trade, mine, okay. Regulated financial system. Okay, so what are you guys doing then? Open source, all-in-one Bitcoin and crypto community platform designed to provide multiple investment opportunities with cryptocurrency education, where it is entirely possible to find the independence we all desire. Okay. Okay, don't get into independence. Freedom-loving individuals who like it. I would rather hear about what you're actually doing. Okay, they've got news. Okay, so what do they do? BCC lending. Okay, let's see this. Oh, Ken said you sell Bitcoin for BCC just to buy back BTC later. why would I want to do that? Like, I don't know what gives BCC any value. Okay, here's investing in BitConnect lending. Okay, deposit Bitcoin into the address, buy BitConnect from the BCC, lend your BCC on your dashboard, okay, and then earn daily profit as per volatility software interest. Okay, so you're buying BitConnect coin, and then you're lending it to who? You're lending it to BitConnect, or you're lending it to other people, or that's unclear to me. Is there anything? Oh, no. Okay. Coin lending profits interest. Okay, this chart, this chart makes me think that this is total bullshit. Okay, so if you go to the BitConnect website and then you go to BCC lending, scroll down a little bit, there's a little chart. It says coin lending profits interest. So if you lend between $100 to $1,000, you can make up to 40% per month, and you get your capital back after 299 days. I would not trust anybody with my Bitcoin for 299 days. And on top of that, like, what if the value of Bitcoin goes way up? I'd sooner just hold my Bitcoin. And then it just says, again, 40% per month, and then plus 0.10% daily, 0.2. So I don't know. There's a lot of guarantees here. And if I've learned anything, there's no guarantees in this kind of investing. Like, there's no insurance on this company. Like, what if they go bust? What if they make a shitty trade? They're not going to be able to pay you out. So even if they are trading, which I don't know if they are, like, do you know these people? I don't. Then there's no way they can guarantee you're going to get a certain percentage every day. And at least they went to the lengths of saying up to 40% per month, but that could be 0% if they suck at what they're doing, or if they're relying on new deposits to pay out new users. Anyways, I wouldn't put any money in BitConnect. It reminds me of LITECOIN, just with more things to keep you busy. Yeah, no, I'm out. Nope. Okay. Yeah. What if Bitcoin moons? Absolutely. Yeah, it's trading bots. But I mean, like, if somebody could make a bot that actually made the money, why the hell would they ever offer it out to anybody else? Yeah, like, you could start with a small amount of money and just make your money over and over. Okay, somebody asked about waves and Stratus. Honestly, I do not know a lot about those. I've heard that waves is interesting, and I don't know what Stratus is. Like, I've seen it in CoinMarketCap, but I really don't know. Okay. Is it too late to get on the Ethereum train? I mean, it could not be. It could go up to $600 or $1,000. I have no idea, but you're also banking that all these ICOs are going to keep pumping up the price. Because if there were no ICOs, the Ethereum price would not be $400 right now. I know that for sure. So you're basically taking a gamble. If you're getting into Ethereum, you're taking a gamble. Are these ICOs going to keep pumping? And are they going to be able to hold themselves up well enough that people aren't going to freak the hell out and get out of ICOs, therefore getting out of Ethereum, getting into something else? So I don't know. Maybe if you want to hedge a little bit and you want to buy some Ether, then sure. But it's, again, it's everything in crypto is a risk. You gotta take a look at the risks and make your own decisions, I suppose. All right. Random person says, what do you think of the Poloniex exchange? So I just started playing around with Poloniex. Yeah, It's cool. I don't know much about their security. I try not to use too much money on there. I don't like leaving my money on exchanges. I played around with it a little bit. I'm terrible at trading alts. I should not be allowed to buy alts. What I should be doing is just saying, okay, I have this asset and I'm just going to leave my money here. Because I'm not going to lie. Like, I was looking at Ethereum this morning and I was like, should I be taking money out of these other shit coins and putting it into Ethereum or what? I don't know. Like, the one thing I know is I'm not selling my Bitcoin. So yeah. Oh, apparently it locked people out last 24 hours. Ugh, okay. Well, yeah, gotta be careful. Okay, so just for a second, I'm gonna pop over to some of the comments on my videos this week. Like I said last time around, it's tough for me to get to all of these questions. There's so many coming in, which is fantastic. I love it. Actually, maybe I can ask you guys, if you are somewhat well-versed in the cryptoverse, then it would be super helpful if every once in a while when you see me post a new video, just peruse through some of the comments and see if you can help people out. Because at this point, it's tough for me to get to everything and stuff gets missed all the time now. So doing my best, but I mean, if you guys can help me out, then awesome, great. Hey, Nova Scotia, Brett, good to see you here. All right, so yes, Ken, hit the thumbs up. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the questions, hit the thumbs up, share the video, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you like. I think we've got like over 100 viewers now. Thank you guys, that's awesome. I'm flattered. Okay, let's see here. What have I got? Ooh, so somebody said that I should consider accepting Dogecoin at the ends of my videos. How do you guys say it? Do you guys say Doge or do you say like Dogies? I've heard Dogie from some people, but I'm pretty sure it's Doge. Yeah, it's Doge, right? It's got to be Doge. Anyways, yeah, somebody said I should accept Dogecoin at the end of my video. There's not a lot of space for QR codes left at the ends of my videos. So I don't know, maybe I'll do like a double screen. It'll do one set of cryptos and the other, but I have trouble keeping. It's the first one. I'm CIA. Okay. All right. It's me, boss lady. Welcome. Good to see it. Thanks for sharing it too. Yeah, Doge. That's what I thought. Okay. Somebody said YouTube is full of shitcoin pumpers. Thanks for instead putting out quality content. Thanks, V. You're too kind. Okay, let's see. Okay. Somebody said, thanks for the video. This is on my old copay video. So I need to do a new copay video because I did it like back before they did their updates and now it's all different. So I'm a newbie from the UK and don't know how to buy Bitcoins and to get them to my copay wallet. I guess it's obvious, but I don't know how to do it. Can you help with this? Thanks, Bob. So Bob, if you happen to see this, I did a video on Bitcoin basics. And I think that'll pretty much answer all your questions there. You might have even found it by now. But in this video, I just break down the basics of like, okay, what is an address? What does an address look like? And I show you how there's a QR code and there's also a string of digits, and they are the same thing. I show about copy and pasting that and sending it to people or scanning it or scanning somebody else's code or receiving a text message and with an address and pasting it into the send field. So I cover that in detail in a video I did called Bitcoin Basics. So if you go back through my videos, you can find Bitcoin Basics, and I think then you'll be set. And I even go actually into an exchange and I show what that might look like on a website. And once you have those basics, then you're pretty much good with any wallet that you open up. You'll be able to find, okay, here's my address, here's where I send, all that stuff, okay? I'm going to do a few more here. Okay, somebody asked why use BitPay? Like as a payment processor was the question. Why use BitPay? Okay, so BitPay, a couple reasons. from what I saw. So I got a guy who has a pizza shop to accept Bitcoin. So he has a Bitcoin ATM in his shop. So I signed him up and we went through the process. He was thinking about either having just a wallet where people could send to when they buy, or doing BitPay. And we looked at it, and the thing with BitPay is it's a nice interface when it comes to accepting payment. Maybe I can show it here. I might still have the app. Hold on a second. Do I have it? I do. Okay, so this app is called Bitcoin Checkout. Now, I showed this in the video that I did a while back, but this is just to kind of give you guys an idea. So a Bitcoin wallet, you can request a certain amount, but there's a few details for a point of sale that aren't built into it. So somebody would have to write and code a point of sale Bitcoin app specifically. And that's essentially what BitPay has done. The problem is if you get over a certain volume, then you're paying them 1%, which is still cheaper than credit cards, but whatever. Anyways, okay. So this is the point of sale app for BitPay. Okay. So it's pretty simple. You just put in the amount somebody is going to pay. So let's say $5, even though that's stupid right now because transaction fees are high. And then you hit collect. Now, this is where you have your tipping screen. So people can pick, am I going to give a tip? Am I going to do a custom tip? No tip, whatever. If it's over a certain amount, then you can do percentages, things like that. And not only that, let's go back to the main screen here. If I go into here, I can go into, you can have different users up top. So if you have different staff, then you could have them click onto their account. And so then those tips get allocated to them. Not only that, but BitPay does all the bookkeeping in the back end. So it's just a lot of stuff that you would have to do and figure out on your own that is covered by BitPay. And I think a lot of people that currently deal with other payment processors, they're probably willing to pay the 1% just to have that shit dealt with instead of doing it themselves. Okay. Okay. Let's get back to the chat here. Let's see what's up here. Did I invest in Bangor? No, I didn't. Okay. Let's see. Have you ever used Coinbase's Shift debit card? Do you have any thoughts on it? Now, unfortunately, because I'm not in the US, I cannot order a Shift debit card. So that kind of sucks for me because I'd love to do that. Just the convenience of having it paired with like a Bitcoin wallet that I could use. Coinbase itself, I don't use anymore. I did initially, I tried it out. And also they used to have support for Canadian banking, which they don't anymore. But I've heard a lot of people's funds being, stories of people's funds being locked up. There's really crappy limits, especially for Canadians. It's like $200 a week or something like that. So yeah, it's not really for me. That being said, I have used a lot of Bitcoin Visa debit cards. I've used Wirex, I've used Bitwala. Both of those are fantastic. They do have fees associated with them. The problem here is there's no Canadian dollar denominated card. And if you're using a foreign currency in not the native currency of the card, then you get hit with fees. But I did use one over in England just recently. I went over with a Wirex British pound card that was hooked up to a Bitcoin account, so I could swap Bitcoin into British pounds. It saved me a ton of money as far as conversion goes. Yeah, and it was great. So stuff like that, I think those are important. Those what I guess, what would I call them? They would be like a bridge, I guess, like second, third party, like what are they? They're like bridging the gap. So there's a gap between being able to spend Bitcoin and having actual Bitcoin. So they're bridging this gap, and it's allowing people to spend their Bitcoin at shops. And at some point, if enough people are spending cryptocurrency at shops, and these shops realize, oh, there's a lot of people coming in here and they're paying with this card, and every time they pay with the card, it's no different to them. They're just spending their currency of choice, but I'm getting screwed paying some middleman, you know, 1% for accepting that prepaid Visa card. At that point, or 2 or 3%, at that point, if they see people using these gap bridging technologies, they might just say, well, hell, I'll just use a solution that allows me to accept cryptocurrency. And then you might have a very quick switch where all of a sudden people are like, well, we'll just cut out all these people in the middle. And that would be very interesting to see. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, let's see what else goes here in the chat. Any good way? So Cyric, I think Cyric A. Hey mate, where are you from? Hey mate, are you Aussie maybe? Okay, or British, I'm not sure. Okay, any good way to buy Bitcoin in US dollars with a US bank account, but for a non-US resident? So are you currently in another country? Because that could affect my answer. Ooh, that's a good question. And you want to use your US account. Ugh. I don't know, man, because some of these exchanges, they're asking for proof of address, and that's where you might run into trouble. So dude, honestly, I might just recommend looking for local solutions instead. I know that it sucks, but yeah, the US exchanges are probably the worst for being picky. I mean, I'm talking out of like Western countries. They're probably the worst for being picky about all your information and everything. So yeah, I don't know, man. You're probably gonna have to look for some local solutions instead. Sorry to say. Okay, let's see here. Somebody was saying something about Quadriga. I just saw Quadriga CX stopped enabling e-trans. Did they? They stopped enabling e-transfers. Oh, actually, I didn't use e-transfers before. I used Interac Online. But I've heard that's not possible with some banks. Yeah, Quadriga has some serious communication issues. You know what? I think honestly the problem there, a lot of people don't realize that some of these Bitcoin companies, like you expect it to be this massive company with like people working in an office building. That's not the case. Most of these companies, it's like a few dudes just like trying to put together a company. The industry is so new. There's not a lot of big companies with a ton of people behind them. Even Coinbase is relatively small, and same with like BitPay. They're big in the scheme of the crypto landscape, but when it comes to any other Bitcoin company, they're small. Like, I mean, Quadriga, honestly, I don't know how many people work for Quad. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of people. It's probably just a few, honestly, like 3 or 4, if I had to guess. So yeah, and it's like the #1 Canadian exchange. So like, what the hell do? You kind of just try to get as many orders through as you can, and people get mad at you, and that's just kind of how it is. Eventually, yes, the companies will grow big enough, but yeah, it sucks. Okay, somebody said, can you please explain SegWit? That was Ganesh. Okay, so SegWit got caught up in the scaling debate, kind of in a strange way. So SegWit originally was made to fix something called transaction malleability. So all that transaction malleability is when you send a transaction, there's like an ID or like a little ID attached to the transaction, and you're able to play around with that and change it. So you can't change the amount of money being sent. You can't change who it is being sent to. You can't take back the transaction, but you can change this little ID on it. And because of that, we can't do things like secondary layers on top of Bitcoin. So in order to move forward with certain ways of scaling things, you need to fix transaction malleability. So SegWit fixes this, and it does something that conveniently also would have, had it been activated, or if and when it's activated, will give more space to include more transactions. Okay, so let's say you have a block. This is your Bitcoin block, and inside this block, you can fit all of your transactions, okay? Now, a big chunk of this is actually just the info of the transactions, but the other half of it over here is going to be the signatures, people signing and saying, yes, I approve this transaction, signing it with their private key, saying, yep, that's me. Okay, so a big chunk of the block is taken up by all of these signatures. So all that was done is, maybe I can draw this. Let's get inventive here. Okay. Does this pen work? Good. Okay. Okay. Let's draw. All right. So here's your block. Let's say half of this is transactions. Da, 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 da. All right. There's your transactions. The other half is signatures. Let's do my fancy initials. Okay. So there's your transactions. There's your signatures. Okay. All that SegWit did is it took these signatures and it put them outside of the block. So it kind of took it and put them in a different place. So they're still attached, but you have this extra bit of space, and there's the signatures. And now you've freed up all this space so you can add in more transactions. So in some cases it's double, some cases it's 3 times or 4 times. And the signatures are still there. They're just attached in a different way. And the way that Bitcoin recognizes it is it's only looking within this space how many transactions are allowed to be filled. It's no longer counting this as space. So it's just kind of like a trick to almost trick Bitcoin into allowing you to do more transactions per second, which is like it was a fantastic idea. But it got caught up in the scaling debate, and I don't know, all this FUD got spread around. Anyways, it needs to be fixed at some point. It's just stubborn people, I guess. But anyways, yeah, that's basically what SegWit was. It took the transactions and just put them in a different place and allowed for a little bit extra space so that you can include more transactions in the same blocks. Yeah, so people are saying it's not a block size increase. Well, it's not, but you're still like allowing for double the transactions. So because you didn't make like an extra square here, people are saying it's not a block size increase, but I don't know. Oh, okay. Anyways, let's keep going. Oh, this is kind of an interesting question. Louis, I think, or Luis, I'm not sure how to say it. Luis Acosta. Okay, when I use a Bitcoin ATM, where does my cash go? Well, I mean, it goes inside the ATM, but I think you're looking for more detail than this. Okay, so here's how it works. You go to a Bitcoin ATM, especially the ones in my city. This is how it works. It depends on the ATM. So some of them, the machines are pre-stocked with Bitcoin. So the owner of the ATM will buy a whole bunch of Bitcoin and put it in like a hot wallet that is connected to this ATM or to a series of ATMs. And so when you put in cash, at that point, the API in the background essentially says cash has gone into the machine. That cash now then is accepted and through the bill feeder, and it approves the transaction and sends Bitcoin to your phone. So that's one way that it works. The ATM operator will then at some point come clear out the machine and use that money largely to buy more Bitcoin to restock the machine. Now, another way to do it is this. You go to a Bitcoin ATM, you scan your wallet, you put in your cash. At this point, when you say buy Bitcoin, you put in all your cash, the ATM itself is linked up to an online exchange, and it signals a buy. Okay, so it's linked up to an online exchange where maybe there's already money sitting in the exchange and it signals a buy, and then through the API in the background, the Bitcoin is bought on the spot and then sent to the wallet that you have given to the machine. Now, in this instance, it might take a little bit longer to show up in your wallet because depending on the exchange, it might take longer to do a withdrawal. Okay, so two different instances, and there's pros and cons for each. You got to think of it from the perspective of one of the owners of these machines, though. Okay, so a lot of time there's a big spread on the fees, and that's not an accident. That's, yes, for profits, but also you got to think the price of Bitcoin is up and down like crazy. And so if you buy a bunch of Bitcoin and the price tanks any more than, say, let's say your premium is 10%, all of a sudden you're giving away Bitcoin for free. So you're trying to kind of hedge in there. So if you're a person that pre-buys all the Bitcoin, then you are up to the mercy of the market and where it goes. In the end, maybe it would even out, but you're risking a lot. If you're hooked up to an exchange, then you're not dealing with that volatility, but your customers are going to have a little bit more of delay in receiving their Bitcoin. So yeah, you kind of got to weigh it. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? Andreas Antonopoulos has a great video explaining SegWit, how it works, and why it would help transaction malleability. Yes, it's me, Boss Lady. Honestly, Andreas is the best speaker in the space, and he's pretty level-headed too. Like when it comes to things like Ethereum and other projects, you know, he's open-minded, but he's healthily skeptical, I'll say. All right. So like he thinks that Ethereum is a good project, but he also says that a lot of the ICOs being built on it are shit, and people should be careful. He doesn't think that because of that Ethereum is a scam. He's able to differentiate between the two, and that's great. I think he's a fantastic source of information. Okay. Somebody said, "Are we in a bubble?" Brett says, "Are we in a bubble?" Bitcoin wise, I never want to answer these questions, but I don't think so. At the current price, I don't think so. If we went up to, I made a video predicting a price for the end of the year of like 13 grand, which I don't really think is going to happen, but like maybe. It's like in the back of my head, I'm like, things could get irrational at the end of the year, especially if SegWit got through and we were able to scale. There's going to be a lot of irrational, not necessarily irrational, but there's going to be a lot of additional exuberance. And yeah, that could pump the price up way, 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 way high. If something like that happened, then yeah, that's bubble territory, and we'd probably end up crashing back down to like the $3,000 mark if that was happening. But yeah, I don't think with the current prices. I mean, don't get me wrong, it could drop down to 2,000 in like 2 days, but I think that's just Bitcoin being Bitcoin. It's going to be all over the place. Wait till August. God knows what's going to happen. It's going to be like up and down. People are going to think it's solved, and then, oh shit, it's not. It's going to be all over the place. So yeah. I don't know how to say your name. Austraeus mood. Anyways, yeah, it would crash back down to 3,000. Yeah, well, if you haven't seen it, there's a video called "Don't Buy Bitcoin, It's Going to Crash," and it's just a guy going through all the bubbles saying, look, this, you know, it's going to crash. It went up to $12 and then it crashed down to $4, and then it went up to $200 and it crashed down to $70, and it just keeps going and going, but it's always higher, and it's like meant to be sarcastic. It's pretty awesome. Okay. Somebody said, could you explain the soft fork, hard fork stuff that is happening? Okay, so you know what I think you should do, because it's JD, the best place to really hear about this. I recommended it in my video this morning. Go to check out the podcast Let's Talk Bitcoin. And I think it was their latest one, or it was within the last week. Anyways, it's episode 333. And it's all about BIP 148 and the possible fork that it could create, and the other. Andreas Antonopoulos is talking about it, and he's very, very detailed, and it's fantastic. Check it out. Again, it's called Let's Talk Bitcoin, and their latest episode, unless they've uploaded one today, it's the one from last Monday or Sunday, whatever day they upload. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Who would win in a fight? Spider-Man versus the Flash. Shit. I like Spider-Man just because it's Spider-Man, but I don't know. I feel like maybe the Flash because he's, I don't know, he's too fast. He's so fast. Okay, what else? What else is going on up here? I'm gonna pop back into some of the questions from my videos. Okay, I'm gonna try and wrap this in the next 10 minutes here. So if you have any other quick questions, like make them all flashy on the screen, and I'll try and pick them out. Okay. Somebody said on one of my videos, Ethereum is a scam. And then there was a big thread below it of people arguing back and forth. I don't think it's a scam. I just think it doesn't line up with exactly what people either were hoping it to be, or people in Bitcoin, what they want things to be. It's not a scam. It's just not, it's not super, super resistant to coercion, we'll say. Okay. Yeah, they can go and change things, right? So I don't know. Yeah, it's just a different system. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's keep going. So yeah, I've seen some things about Jack's wallet. So Jack's wallet has been in the news, I think just today or the last couple days. And there's an exploit or something along those lines where people can, if somebody has network access to your computer, then they can get your 12-word seed and take your funds. That is scary as shit. I hope that gets changed ASAP. I have used Jax in the past. I've got to say that I love it from a concept standpoint, the idea of having a single wallet and being able to instantly convert between currencies just in a single app. Great idea. In practice, I have had nothing but troubles with Jax. It's slow to load. I get incorrect balances. Like just the other day, I was just dicking around and I was looking, and I had Jax open on my computer and on my phone, and it's the same wallet, so they're both, it's the exact same seed. But I was looking at the two of them, and I don't really have money in the wallets. I don't really use them, but I was looking at one. I was like, oh shit, there's like a ton of Dash in this one, and it was from like God knows when I had Dash for some reason way back when. Anyways, it looked like I had like $3,000 sitting there, and then I just found out, oh no, it's not updating my balances. I didn't have any Dash sitting there, but I got super excited and then subsequently super disappointed. And this has happened lots of times before. Like I'll get a transaction and then I'll send money out and it doesn't update on one of them. And it's just, I don't know, man, like they've got to do some work on that. Like it's frustrating because it looks so nice, but then when you go to use it, it does not handle as well as it looks. Okay, I'm gonna just look through a couple other ones here. I'm in the video comments right now, just for a second here, guys. So, oh, this sucks. This was on my LITECOIN video. Somebody said, I invested over 2 Bitcoin. I just want to get it out of my head. I don't like thinking about it every day. I already consider it a loss. What's worse, I paid the fee. So what happened after I did the LITECOIN video is they had essentially frozen trading and then said if you don't put the fee in, then you can't get your payouts anymore. And some people paid this fee. And then, okay, this is the worst part. He says, my mentor didn't warn me. He left it up to me after he encouraged me to get in. My fault, though. And that's fair, but that sucks. There's people out there just like pumping this shit. And they know full well it could crash, but they're getting they're getting kickbacks for adding people in, so maybe they don't necessarily care. I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but that sucks. Like, don't encourage people to do that shit. It's they're gonna lose money, and then it tarnishes your image. I had a ton of people asking me in person if I would speak at their events, but I know they're also pumping LITECOIN, and it's garbage, right? And I straight up told them, like, I would maybe speak if it was a Bitcoin event, but if it has anything to do with LITECOIN, then I don't want to be there. Then I went home and I thought about it, and I was like, I don't even want to speak if it's just a Bitcoin event, because I know that if it's put on by these people, then it's gonna be them getting people to look at Bitcoin, and then those people subsequently are going to be investing that Bitcoin into something like LITECOIN. And I don't want people to have their first experience in crypto with me being like, yeah, Bitcoin. And then through proxy, because I'm brought there by somebody pumping LITECOIN, they're going to associate the two of us together. And then they're going to go to this guy and he's going to say, do this. And then they're going to lose a ton of money, and they're going to have a bad taste in their mouths, and they're going to equate this guy with me. And I don't want any of that. So I'm just totally staying out of that shit. I think, yeah, I will never promote anything. I don't even like, originally I was playing with the idea of doing like paid promotional videos. So like if somebody wanted me to highlight their product, I don't even do that. I don't even want to do that. So like, as being paid, if somebody gives me their product and they're like, hey, can you maybe, like, if you like it, make a video? Sure, I'll do that. That's fine. Because then I can say what I think about it, right? Or just show how it works straight up. But I definitely would not be doing paid videos, mostly because I like having control over my own content. I want to say, yeah, I want to do a video on this, or no, I don't want to do a video on that. I don't like it. Why would I do a video on it? So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on this. Okay. So I'm going to wrap this up in about 5 minutes. Just toss out any last questions that you have, anything that you can think of. I'm all ears. Okay. It's me, boss lady. We should start throwing our own events. Yeah, totally. Let's do it. Where are you from, by the way? I don't even know. Brett Harvey says Rachel Notley wants to ban Bitcoin from Alberta. Does she really, though? I don't think that's a thing. And like, good luck. I don't know. I don't think that's true. Okay. Wait, it's me, boss lady. Okay. So Michael Desport says, what's your preferred everyday holding mobile wallet? Okay, so I have two. Number one, Copay. I still really like it. Their update, not as good as it used to be, but it's still probably one of my favorite wallets and the easiest to use when I'm showing somebody new. So that's kind of my go-to. I'll keep Bitcoin in that, my day-to-day stuff. And then that way, when I'm showing somebody, I can give them something simple to start with. Okay. But my second wallet, and I think if I wasn't constantly teaching people, I'd probably use this one all the time, is Mycelium, Mycelium. Awesome wallet. It has support for everything. I can link up my Ledger Nano S, my Ledger Nano. I can link up my Keep Key. I can put a Trezor on that thing. I can link all of that. And then I can see all of my accounts. I can see everything that I'm holding, but I don't have access. Like if I lost my phone, nobody could spend that. They'd have to have the device and my phone at the same time and know the PIN number for the device. So it's secure, but I can see everything. So that's what I wanted, and that's what I've got. Mycelium, I can't recommend it enough, but when you first boot it up, if you're a new user, it's a little intimidating. It looks like somebody, like a hacker, put it together. It's just kind of got that dark look, and it's I don't know. It looks like it's out of the Matrix or something. It's probably not as scary as I'm making it out to be, but like compared to something like Copay, it doesn't have that super friendly look to it. It's not super clean, but it works like a charm. Okay. Oh, it's me, Boss Lady from Florida. I spent some time in Florida. So I worked on a cruise ship as an entertainer, oddly enough, and I was in Fort Lauderdale training for 5 weeks while I got ready to go on the ship. So, anyways, it was nice. I haven't been down since, but my uncle lives there now, so maybe someday soon. Okay, Brett Harvey. Trezor, Ledger, and Keep Key. Rock one, stock one, drop one. All right. It's tough between the rock one and the stock one. Right now, currently, I'm rocking a Trezor on my keychain. I'm stocking my Nano S, even though that one I find just as good as the Ledger. If not, maybe a little bit sturdier, actually. And drop one, sorry to say, but the Keep Key, it's too big, it's bulky almost, so like I don't want to carry that around. It feels pretty, like it's nice, and it feels like when you get like an Apple product and how it's like nice and clean looking and fancy, but yeah, it's big and bulky. And then on top of that, the desktop interface, I'd say, leaves a little bit to be desired. Like it doesn't look all that nice. Granted, when I'm using it with my Celium, that doesn't matter. But yeah, anyways, rocking a Trezor, stocking a Nano S, and dropping the Keep Key. But I'm sorry, it's still a pretty good wallet. Okay, do I prefer Xbox or PlayStation? I have an Xbox One. I would like some of the exclusive on PlayStation, but also I'm having a kid in like 2 months, so God, I'm not going to be able to play that in so long. Okay. All right. A few more. Join Crypto Aquarium. Shoot me a link for that. I will do that now. Sorry, guys. There's a lot of comments. Cryptofish, shoot that link. Okay. And again, I don't really use Telegram, so I'm gonna have to get Telegram, figure that out. Okay. Okay. And question, what's the best ATM you recommend? So there's a lot of different kinds of ATMs. In my experience, the worst one is the Skyhook. I don't think there's really many of them out there anymore, but they might be a few still kicking around. It's this tiny little machine. It's like, I don't know, it's like yay big. It's thin. It has, the screen is just a tablet inside the machine, then has a little bill collector. Those things are trash. Like if it runs out of Bitcoin, it just shuts down and you've got to go and restart it. Like it's just nothing but problems. So if you're looking at getting a Bitcoin, if you're looking at getting an ATM, don't get a Skyhook. I don't even think you can, but like if you're looking secondhand, don't touch that shit. I don't mind the Lamasus, they're nice. But you also have to keep in mind, like, down the road too, like there's some really sturdy ones that are super how do I put this, compliant, I guess you could say, like up to snuff with like regular bank ATMs. And the one that I think is one of the best is Genesis. They've got wicked machines, like really good, and like the interface in the back end is really good too. I think the stuff with the Lamasus, the back end, like if you're trying to work it yourself, it's a lot of code, so you got to kind of figure that out, which sucks. But I think they have decent tech support. Bit access, from what I hear, leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, I'll just kind of leave it at that. So I don't know. I think Genesis have the nicest ones right now, but I do kind of like the Lamasu ones as well. Okay. See if there's, oh, you're building one. Nice. Good for you. Okay. I'm just going to quickly, okay. Cryptofish, t.me/crypto aquarium. Okay. I will figure that out. Telegram. I need to get that now. Okay. And am I on Steemit? I am on Steemit. I'm not a super active user, but I did post my video this morning. I think I just need to be more active in order to actually see any traffic going to my stuff, because I'm not getting anybody looking at my stuff on Steemit. That being said, I don't know. Maybe I'll put some time into it, but I'm pretty busy, so I'll see. Maybe like YouTube is enough of a job for me right now, but yeah, I might jump into that. And then ZZ Sniped, good to see you. He asks, she, I don't know, what do you think about the flippening? I did talk about that earlier on. I don't think you were here yet. But anyways, if you want to go back and take a look at that after we're all done. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I had a blast. If you can, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is @BTCBenny. Also, is there anybody in here in Calgary? I don't know if there is. If you're in Calgary, I'm part of an event that's happening this coming Saturday. So what it is I'm speaking. There's going to be live music. There's going to be free booze for the first 50 people in the door. There's a Bitcoin ATM there, and we're basing the night around crypto and just talking about Bitcoin and where things are headed, and introducing new people to it. So it's going to be at a place called Cafe Blanca. If you go to Facebook and check it out, there is a link. But anyways, it's called, yeah, I'm gonna find it here. I'm just gonna post it in the chat for anybody that is interested. Feel free to share it around. But yeah, I'm excited. I did an event 2 years back, and it was a lot of fun. And so we had a ton of different artists, and we were introducing people to Bitcoin. You could live tip people as they were on stage. It was cool. It was awesome. So it's going to be similar to that, and I really can't wait to do it. So I'm gonna post this in here. Anyways, that's the Facebook event. Feel free to check it out, even if you're not in even if you're not in Calgary. And then It's Me's Boss Lady. Did you get a new crypto art piece? I've got two here. So actually, I'll show you guys really quick. I really love these. This is, God. Okay, there, now you can see it. I love this. It's so cool. Like, look at the detail in those pictures. So awesome. Like all steampunk and everything. Anyways, okay, there's one. I'll put that up later. My walls are all ugly and bare now. And then this is the other one. I love it. It's so awesome. Anyways, yeah, like crypto art. Maybe in the chat, you guys know the, maybe in the chat, you guys know the website. I'm at a loss right now, but yeah, crypto art. You should be able to Google it. It's amazing, amazing art there. Random person, what did you want to reply about? Sorry, you're crying. I feel bad. Okay. Anyways, and It's Me Boss Lady. You know people in Calgary? Do I know Antoine? I don't know. There's like 1.2 million people in Calgary. So I don't know anybody named Antoine, so probably not. But yeah, send them my way. I'd love to meet Antoine. Cool. I will take a look more into Steemit. Maybe I'll spend some more time there. Random person. I'm just going to scroll up because I feel bad. You're crying. You look sad. What did you say? Random person. Feathercoin. I don't know anything about Feathercoin. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things that's just gotten lost in the background. There's too many things. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Have an awesome, awesome evening. And yeah, if you get the chance, share my video from earlier today. It's on my channel there, and it is about Bitcoin transaction fees. And yeah, have a fantastic night. I will see you guys all later. Follow me on Twitter at BTCBenny and hit that like button, share this, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.